Welcome to So Many Receipts. I'm Shelley Seddon.
And I'm Fleur Michelle.
And we're two entertainment journos based in Sydney, Australia who love to analyse and talk about all things reality TV and pop culture.
In Deep Dive, we go all in on stuff we're dying to know about, plus chats you won't want to miss. Welcome to our latest Deep Dive into And Just Like That, Season 3, also known as I Couldn't Help But Wonder, what the hell have they done to this show?
So just a reminder, we unpack the main Carrie and Aiden's storyline on our weekly Receipt Roundup podcast. So if you want to hear our thoughts on their situationship, which I call the shituationship, check out the latest app. And we unpacked a lot this week. So we now have PHAs on the podcast, plot hole alerts.
They are coming in thick and fast. And because we're editors, we're journos, we know how to script edit stuff. So this is why it drives us mad. Although even people who aren't script editors, even Joe Blow down the road, is now saying this is getting beyond a joke.
Yes. So besides the ridiculous Aiden and Carrie storyline, we have another ridiculous storyline this week. So LTW's dad dies. Normally, this would be a serious topic, but there's a problem. LTW tells Charlotte in season 1, I was exactly the same when my father died last year, when she was talking about the death of Mr. Big.
Don't they have writers responsible for each character? Or an intern? Like, why did the writers not remember what they said last year? There hasn't been that many episodes per season. What about a whiteboard?
Yeah, so diehard fans, pun intended, immediately called this out. So a source from the show tried to clear up the confusion, saying it was Lisa's stepdad who died in season 1.
Yeah, well, busted.
Yeah.
If that was the case, why didn't she just say it was a stepdad back then? It was a mistake, plain and simple. I mean, did someone get fired? I really hope so.
Yeah, she never used the word stepdad. And there was an interview with Nicole Ari Parker, who plays LTW, and she said she knew, obviously, her dad had died in season 1, but she didn't want to say anything because this was a really juicy storyline for her and a chance to really act. So this is just so sloppy. Like I've said before, I can forgive the wacky fashion, but I cannot forgive the bad writing.
Well, okay, I get she wants to do this big storyline, but could she not have just said, or someone, couldn't they not have just explained it? Like maybe when she had the scene with the woman in the diner and said something like, you know what, last year my stepdad died and this now my dad's died, blah, blah. It would have taken 3 words.
Exactly.
If they wanted to cover their tracks.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's easy fix.
It's just so sloppy. But I will give LTW and her family props for the funeral attire. As Dory would say, so chic.
Yes, and they all did look pretty good in their little black dresses.
Yes.
So that woman I'm talking about that organised the memorial that LTW hated, this woman was the dad's ex-partner.
Right.
Why did why did LTW agree to meet her for lunch and then order such a huge lunch of chicken and waffles?
Yeah.
It was the size of a small child. It would have taken hours to eat. I would not organise an hours-long lunch with an dad's ex-partner that I hated.
Yeah.
Plus, they had the key lime pie for dessert. What about just a quick coffee or a glass of water to say her piece and get out of there? I mean, how excruciating.
Yeah. Well, I want to know, why is LTW getting 2 storylines? So the hot editor, Marion, and now her father dying. Like, we do not need this extra storyline.
Yes. Well, that's what I said last week. Why are they giving this peripheral character so many storylines? I actually feel she gets more airtime than Charlotte.
Yeah. So LTW's dad dying unexpectedly, even though he's 90, it rattles Charlotte because Carrie's going through his prostate cancer thing. And Harry decides to have surgery, which has a 98% survival rate. So hopefully Harry will be fine. But Charlotte still hasn't told anyone what, they're going through. And of course, it's weighing heavily on her. So she goes all the way downtown to buy diapers for Harry and wears these big glasses so no one will recognize her. Plot hole alert. Charlotte is going downtown, which happens to be Carrie's, neighborhood. And Carrie is in her local pharmacy.
Yes, plot hole alert number 4097. Like, why go to the exact neighbourhood that her best friend is in, where she frequently walks around with other mutual friends? New York is huge. There's other boroughs.
Yes, and so we have Carrie in the pharmacy buying another bottle of Tums.
So what are Tums? Do we have them in Australia?
They're just for like acid reflux, indigestion.
Okay, but why does
Yeah.
Carrie have such bad indigestion when she doesn't eat
Yeah.
anything? Like, I let me think. In the show, so far we've seen her eat one croissant at Hot Fella's Bakery, a bite of Duncan's mutton stew, and one piece of KFC.
Yeah.
Her gut should be empty.
Yeah. Well, perhaps the taste of Duncan's mutton stew is still lingering and repeating or something.
I'm sorry, that was ridiculous. You cannot get mutton, which is meat from an elderly sheep, anywhere these days. This is Australia. This
Yeah.
is the land of lamb, and you cannot just buy mutton here. So I really don't think you'd readily find
No.
it in New York. I bet they just made it mutton stew because remember there was that famous Seinfeld episode where Jerry said a girl fed him mutton?
I don't remember that, no. But
Oh,
anyway.
it's famous. They say the word mutton. They go mutton about
God.
like 50 times. It's just a funny word.
I don't think I have ever seen mutton in a supermarket or any butchery.
No.
Anyway. Yeah. So can I also just point out that Charlotte lives in New York City, where you can have pretty much anything delivered at any time. So you can get Depends delivered from Amazon or the grocery store or from some service. You do not have to personally step out of the house to buy adult diapers.
But would it come straight away? Because I've bought
Yes.
things off Amazon Australia and it takes like 3 weeks to arrive.
You can get groceries delivered in an hour. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay. Well, meanwhile, Miranda and Joy's relationship.
Yeah, seems to be moving from strength to strength. And Seema has also done the impossible and found Miranda not one, but 2 perfect apartments in New York.
Now, can I just say that Miranda was bona fide insane for not wanting to move into one of
Yeah.
the apartments because it's pet free and because Joy, who she's been dating for about a day, has 2 dogs. So Miranda doesn't want to take this apartment
Yeah.
because she wants Joy to bring the dogs over to the apartment if she has a sleepover with Miranda. What?
Yeah,
Since when do you bring your pets to a sleepover?
right.
I never had anyone ask to bring a pet over. Not a dog, a cat, a bird, a fish in a bowl. Nothing. Is this a thing?
I don't know.
I would think that it would be very upsetting for a dog
Yeah.
suddenly being in a strange place overnight, wondering where their own bed is, and then the dog is waking up and watching Miranda and Joy have sex.
Well,
Ew.
the last episode, the dogs were in bed with Miranda when she woke up.
that's
so
right, yep.
they're maybe bonding with her. But so there was also some whole issue regarding offer over asking for the first apartment that I really didn't care about. But it looks like Miranda now has a place of her own as, she finally came to her senses and took the pet-free place, Yawn.
Yeah.
And also Miranda, she wanted to introduce Joy to Brady, her son. So Joy really doesn't vibe with other people's children, but she changes her mind when Brady immediately falls in love with her fur children, Sappho and Socrates.
I thought just because he patted her dogs, she suddenly sold on him and children. Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And can I just mention how disconcerting it is to go from Miranda walking around Carrie's apartment completely naked on last week's episode to the next night watching her host a temperance meeting on the Gilded Age. This is really messing with my mind.
I wonder what the main problem will be that arises with this pair, because when she was with Che, you could immediately see that it was going to be
Yeah.
trouble, but I don't know with this Joy woman. She does seem fairly sensible on the whole.
Yeah. Hopefully they can be happy for, just a little bit. But other than that, so Seema, I felt she was a bit sidelined this episode.
And she was sidelined in the last episode too.
Yeah.
I think she's more interesting than LTW. Why aren't we seeing more of her?
Yeah. So poor Seema had to give up her car and driver, and she's devastated. So things are so bad that she ends up taking public transportation to New Jersey. So for some reason, she's also attending LTW's dad's funeral. And you think she just would have shared a ride with someone since everyone was attending this funeral. And I would just like to end this with a warning to Carrie. Do not trade first chapters with Dunkin' Donuts downstairs. So obviously, Carrie's handsome new neighbor Duncan is this acclaimed author, and he's, writes these very serious biographical novels writing about Margaret Thatcher, and he's very British.
Yes.
So Carrie's starting every line with, "The lady looked out the window." Like, this is just not going to cut it. I am cringing for her.
What's he going to think when he gets to that? I couldn't help but wonder bits. Is she
Well-
going to put those in?
Well, it is a historical novel. She's, pivoting and changing,
Oh, she'll put it in.
Yeah.
And why is he coming around to her and liking her more and more when she's just as annoying and whimsical as ever?
Yeah, I don't know. So, and just like that, that's all we have time for. Join us next week for our deep dive into episode 7.